Messianic 7 Newscast broadcasting world news, current affairs, events surrounding modern-day Israel and the Jewish people, what the Torah holds for us, what is happening to the Gentiles. God's plan for the entire planet revolves around the physical and spiritual restoration of Israel and the consequent return of the Messiah Yeshua. Whether or not the nations realize it, world events are swirling around Israel and God's agenda, not the other way around. It is our hope that we can connect for you the prophetic dots between God's plan for mankind, Israel, and today's news. Israel delivers 3 more armored ambulances to Ukraine amid requests for military aid. On Monday, January 30, 2023, bullet-proof Mercedes Sprinters join another such vehicle that arrived in Ukraine several weeks ago, equipped with monitor, defibrillator, oxygen system, and other emergency gear. Israel's defense ministry announced Monday that it had delivered 3 more armored ambulances to Ukraine's emergency services, given Russia's nearly year-long invasion of the country. The first of the 4 ambulances was delivered several weeks ago and is already assisting rescue forces in life-saving activities, the ministry said. The bulletproof Mercedes Sprinter ambulances were armored by the Israeli Plasan Re'em company. They are equipped with life-saving medical gear, such as a monitor, defibrillator, oxygen system, and more, the ministry said. Jerusalem has so far avoided providing direct military aid to Kyiv, including offensive arms or advanced defensive technology, since Russian troops invaded Ukraine on February 24 last year in an attempt to avoid sparking a crisis with Moscow. Israel has, however, provided defensive equipment to Ukraine's emergency and rescue forces, as well as tons of humanitarian aid and setting up a field hospital in western Ukraine for several weeks. Last July, then, Defense Minister Benny Gantz approved a shipment of defensive aid including 1,500 helmets, 1,500 protective vests, hundreds of mine protection suits, 1,000 gas masks, and dozens of hazmat filtration systems. This followed a shipment of 2,000 helmets and 500 flak jackets last April, after months of Jerusalem dragging its feet on the matter. Ukraine is a second home to Jews with about 35% of Ukraine's total population. Israel is one of the few countries that maintains relatively warm relations with both Ukraine, a fellow Western democracy, and Russia. But Israel has found itself at odds with Russia and has increasingly supported Ukraine while seeking to maintain freedom of movement in Syria's skies, which are largely controlled by Moscow. Last week, Foreign Minister Eli Cohen spoke with his Ukrainian counterpart Dmytro Kuleba and accepted the latter's invitation to visit Kyiv. Israeli Foreign Minister to fly to Kyiv to inaugurate reopening of embassy. Eli Cohen made the announcement during a meeting with U.S. Secretary of State Blinken, who said the U.S. expects to discuss ways to further support Ukraine and the Ukrainian people at this critical time. Israeli Foreign Minister Eli Cohen announced on Monday that he will visit Ukraine soon to inaugurate the Israeli embassy in Kyiv. Cohen will be the most senior Israeli official to visit since the war started 11 months ago. During the phone call, Cohen also pledged to permanently reopen Israel's embassy in Kyiv within 60 days. The embassy has been open for 2-week periods, with the staff otherwise working from Poland. As previously reported, the United States calls on Israel to increase its support for Ukraine in its resistance to the Russian invasion. Washington is ready to discuss expanding aid with Jerusalem, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said during a joint press conference with Israeli Foreign Minister Eli Cohen. We appreciate Israel's humanitarian assistance for Ukraine, and we look forward to discussing what more we can do, Blinken said. Previously, Ron Proser, Israel's ambassador to Germany, stated that his country supports Ukraine in a war started by Russia, but the parties do not advertise their assistance. Luke 21, 28-31. 28, and when these things begin to come to pass, then look up, and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. 29, and he spake to them a parable, behold the fig tree, and all the trees. 30, when they now shoot forth, ye see, and know of your own selves, that summer is now nigh at hand. 31 So likewise ye, when ye see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of God is nigh at hand. Fig tree is a prophetical drama incident in the Gospels, presented in Mark and Matthew as a miracle in connection with the entry into Jerusalem, and in Luke as a parable. It is taken from the Tanakh, a symbol of the fig tree representing Israel, and the cursing of the fig tree in Mark and Matthew, and the parallel story in Luke are thus symbolically directed against Israel as a nation compared with the nations. In the Jewish scriptures, the people of Israel are sometimes represented as figs on a fig tree, Hosea 9:10, Jeremiah 24. Yeshua again turns his disciples' attention to the fig tree. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender, and putteth forth his leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the door. Matt 24:30-33. This is Messianic 7 Newscast. Click like to this video, or comment below. We like to hear from you. Subscribe to this channel to follow us on more news coming up. Hit the notification bell to be notified on our upcoming news. Messianic 7 Newscast, broadcasting world news, current affairs, events surrounding modern-day Israel and the Jewish people, what the Torah holds for us, what is happening to the Gentiles. God's plan for the entire planet revolves around the physical and spiritual restoration of Israel and the consequent return of the Messiah Yeshua. Whether or not the nations realize it, world events are swirling around Israel and God's agenda, not the other way around. It is our hope that we can connect for you the prophetic dots between God's plan for mankind, Israel, and today's news.